Hello and welcome everyone to season 4 of the College Chess Podcast. This is episode 2. My name's Joe, and I am joined by none other than Shoshana from Concordia University of Montreal. You are one of the ambassadors of the school. You're also a recent streamer.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hello. It's good to be here.
It's an honor to have you. Have you ever been on a podcast before?
No, never. I just, walk around and talk to people all the time, but it's cool to have it, streamed to my mom. So,
Hi,
happy to be
Shoshana's
here.
mom. Well, tell us a little bit about how you got into chess and specifically college chess.
Ooh, yeah, so I'd been living in Montreal for about, I want to say a year. And I'd always had, I've had chess.com, like the app on my phone for a while now. Kind of picked it up in the pandemic, did a few puzzles, but I never bothered playing online. And I had this routine with my Sundays where I would go climbing at one of the climbing gyms in Montreal. And I'd walk home along the canal back to my apartment. And one day after going climbing, do you want the PG version of this story or like the PG-13 version?
You tell us whatever you feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there are certain substances in Canada that are legal. Um, so after climbing at the gym, I perhaps consumed one of these substances and was feeling a little bit high and having a great time, going on a walk, looking at the water, looking at some grass, having a great day. And I walk past this park, and the park is full of people playing chess, like maybe 30 to 35 people just sitting at chessboards playing chess outdoors. It looks magical. And, I'm a little out of it, but I waltz over, and there are two young guys there at the park. And one of them looks over at me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to play a game of chess?" So I sit down and we start playing a game of chess, and we get to chatting. And they tell me they're from Concordia University and they're part of the chess club there. And, during the school year, I should come join the chess club and, hang out with them at chess club. And the day was just going really well. I was having all sorts of creative ideas. And I was like, I just started playing chess, like I was doing puzzles, but I hadn't really played games online over the board. So like, it's so exciting at that point in time. And in addition, I was feeling this kind of like expansive state of mind, if you will. And I was feeling very creative, and just kind of the beauty and complexity of chess was very apparent to me. So I was really excited about going to Concordia and playing at the chess club. So when it was September, and I work part-time, but I'm finishing up a degree at Concordia part-time as well. I was back at school and I found out the chess club hours. I went to the chess club, and it was full of probably the most interesting and entertaining people I've met in my entire life. And the rest is history. I just kept on showing up to every chess club meeting. And then there was encouragement from the other members to start playing games online. And with enough support, I got over my fear of playing games online. And, you kind of fall deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole as you go. And now here we are. And I started streaming and lots of exciting stuff.
And now you're on a podcast. Wow.
Oh
That's
my gosh. So
uh
crazy.
yeah.
All it takes is like one inebriated stroll through the park, and who knows where you're going to end up.
Yeah, that's awesome how, a chess event out in public can really be such a great marketing experience for the club and
Oh my
show
gosh.
how many people just walking by just see it and want to be part of that and join it and get inspired. So, um, does the club meet there like weekly or was that like a one-off?
So I believe that the chess event was put on by like there's a federation in Quebec that deals with chess. And I think the Federation put it on, but a few of the members of the chess club would go and play at this event. And we actually, even though the Federation doesn't put on the event anymore, which is a shame because they had giant chess pieces and like there were two giant chess sets and it was really fun to play with. Even though the Federation doesn't put it on anymore, like my chess club and I will bring all of our boards and pieces and clocks to the park and we'll set up boards sometimes on like an odd Sunday or Saturday when the weather's nice. And we'll play out there. And it's great because people really do just walk by as they're going on their nice little walk along the canal and they'll see us and they'll walk over and, you know, you never know who's going to show up. Sometimes it's a complete beginner. Sometimes it's someone who has a title, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's really cool
Yeah.
that you really dove deep and you mentioned you had started streaming. How recent was that?
That started, I believe, in August or end of July. I didn't have enough to do in the summertime. And I'm kind of like a border collie. When I don't have enough to do with my time, I chew through a wall. So I decided the best course of action would be to start some sort of project. And the project was streaming. And honestly, as soon as I got on there, as soon as I was on the platform of Twitch and I was streaming, like one person, all it takes is one person to show up and have a positive interaction with you, right? Like that's all I needed. And then I was hooked. I wanted to keep coming back because you start building a community and it feels so good.
That's amazing. Yeah, and I definitely feel you on the community side. There's definitely a lot of awesome college chess streamers out there. We have a few of them actually in our chat. Shout out to Brody and Blood Queen, who recently streamed their first match just last weekend, and I was watching you had streamed your team's match. How'd
Yeah,
that go?
it went well. It was really, we were really, really well matched. And I think we went, it was like the seventh round, and then we had to go to tiebreakers, and we came out on top, which is great. But it was close. It was close. I
Oh
think
yeah.
I experienced more distress than my team did because they watched my stream afterwards and kind of laughed at me because I looked just so profoundly distressed and worried.
That's
It's a
awesome.
weird experience though. You're so powerless. You just hope for the best.
You're just along for the ride,
Yeah.
watching your teammates. That's awesome. Have you ever seen them like compete before? Like maybe in a different competition?
Yeah. So CUCC is, I believe, Canadian University Chess Championships. And last year we went to Kingston, Ontario to partake in those. And I actually didn't compete. I just went as moral support, but I did get to watch a few people play over the board who are in our uh, on our team, and it's just as nerve wracking. But of course, it lasted like the entire day.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely a different kind of format, time control, but that is really cool. Canada does a lot. That's maybe like the equivalent of like Pan Am's in the US. Although Pan Am's is international, like Canadian schools could travel for it. It's just probably a lot more expensive. So, um,
Where are Pan Am's held?
Pan Am's rotates every year. So, I
Mhm.
actually went to it a couple years ago. It was like in DC, and then I went again in Seattle, and then I think it was in Texas. This year it's coming up. It's every January, so it's coming up soon. It's going to be in, I believe, Charlotte, so East Coast.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so if your team maybe wants to travel and compete to that, that's definitely possible. And anyone listening in should definitely check their calendars and check with their teams if they want to go and compete. Probably a little harder for West Coast teams, but that's the reason why they move it around every year so that schools have a better chance of going.
Equal opportunity.
They move the Canadian championship every year, right? A different school hosts it.
Yeah. Well, it's in Montreal. McGill's hosting it this year. So we're nice and close. We're really excited. Or not this year, but like in 2025.
Yeah, 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 coming up. That's great. Yeah. We have a viewer asking, can 800 ELO play in the Collegiate Chess League? Yes. Any
Yeah,
ELO can join. Are you registered on the team, Shoshana?
I'm not registered on a team.
But maybe you can still join as a sub if they need to
This
pull you.
is
Is is it too much? You're more of a viewer, not a competitor.
me, I don't mind competing, but I know my limits, Joe. I know my limits and
Okay. Well, the league has 28 divisions this season. This is a record-breaking season.
wow.
The lowest division, their average team rating is all below like 750.
Yeah,
So,
I could join
yeah.
if we could find other people at Concordia.
How many teams does your team does your school have registered?
I think we only have one team
Okay. So
in
yeah, if it's
Canada.
just the
Yeah.
one, I think it's a pretty strong team too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it wouldn't make sense to join. I mean, what is your strength right now?
My
Or
strength,
should I not ask?
I don't know,
Your Ela?
continuing to exist, breathing.
Uh,
I'm pretty good at
hey,
that.
those are good strengths.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Rapid, I'm around like 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
recently broke 1,000. It was very exciting.
congrats. Yeah. And is that normally like what you've been streaming is just playing like Rapid?
Yeah, playing rapid, doing puzzles. I kind of like playing 960 as well when I stream. It's kind of fun and it kind of puts everyone in a novel situation. So I think that's healthy, right? We kind of have to
Yeah.
continuously be on our feet. And what else have I been streaming?
You like variants?
Yeah, okay. I am attempting to, hopefully soon, stream. My goal is to stream Bughouse.
Oh yeah.
I love Bughouse. Bughouse turns people into animals, but it is also the most fun game of all time. And I play a lot over the board with my chess club, but I have a few good friends from chess club who have agreed to play Bughouse with me online because it's so nice if you have an actual partner. Like it's so much easier to
hmm
communicate with them if you know who they are. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping to stream Bughouse in the near future.
Yeah, Bughouse is a big one. It's definitely my personal favorite variant out there. I stream Bughouse myself. Um, I definitely agree. It's a lot more fun with friends. It's very hard to play Bughouse like with random partners online, especially if they're not like checking the chat. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, it's definitely a team game. So yeah, Blood Queen in the chat saying yuck bug. I guess she doesn't like it too much, but
She
yeah,
doesn't like Bughouse.
it,
I mean, like that's fair because I think Bughouse does something to people. Like I've seen normal, kind, generous individuals play Bughouse. And I've seen them turn into animals, like screaming at the top of their lungs, throwing chess pieces. Like it does something to people. I'm not saying it's a drug necessarily, but like it comes close. Like it does things
so,
to individuals who are otherwise normal.
so what does it do to you?
To me,
Yeah.
I think it brings me up to like a level of awareness that I'm not usually at. I'm a pretty like dreamy kind of person. I'll be all over the place. Like I'll get distracted by a squirrel. I don't really have a super strong competitive spirit. So if I lose at a game, sometimes people come to chess club and like you can tell they really want to win.
hmm
And I'm just like, okay, like
Yeah.
you really want to win, like here you go. Like
Yeah. Yeah. It's not worth it.
yeah, it's not worth it. So it just brings me up to a level of, where I'm on par with everybody
It
else at chess club.
it gets the juices flowing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you're on a team, so there's an added level of pressure, to perform and to help not be like the weak link. I know
Yeah.
I played Brody with some Bughouse with Richard and Tina. These are also past podcast guests um, and streamers themselves. Bughouse definitely very fun to collaborate. And Blood Queen, I don't, I guess she doesn't like it, but I did see she was playing a different variant similar to Bughouse in a way. It's Hand and Brain. Have you heard of that?
Yes, I love Hand and Brain.
Yeah.
I have a notes app on my iPhone where we record the greatest hits of all time from our chess club because there's so many inappropriate one-liners that I shall not repeat on this podcast. Spare everyone. But there's so many great one-liners that come from playing Hand and Brain. So we played a lot. I think UDEM, which is one of the other universities in Montreal, actually held a Hand and Brain tournament, like just a casual one. Um, but I do love Hand and Brain. It is also great.
Well, we might have to tune into your stream to hear these one-liners on
Oh
the
my
on part
gosh.
two.
Please come into my stream and like you'll see everyone in my chess club. They're all in my chat and they are all like comedic gold. I
That's
think,
awesome.
yeah, they're great.
Yeah. Well, speaking of collaborations and you had started streaming recently, is there any streamer that you like to watch or that inspires you or maybe like a dream collaboration for you?
Ooh, um, I've tried to like explore all the different streams. Um, I can tell you whose content I consume a lot of because it usually comes up on my Instagram. I have a separate Instagram account, which is just chess memes. It's just for chess. And when I'm feeling down, I go on it and I just look at like funny chess videos. And I think it's Jules Gambit
Mm-hmm.
who's put out a lot of great chess related comedy. And I think the content is just so good. It's just so good. Like she taps into, whatever culturally relevant or, kind of up and coming and trending and somehow relates it to chess. And I think it's amazing.
Yeah,
So
shout out to Jules. Jules is amazing. She's actually the host for the Collegiate Chess League this season. Um, yeah, if we were watching the main broadcasts, we have another match coming up this weekend. It's gonna be a big one. We've got Athens versus Mizzou, followed by Virginia versus Yale. Uh,
I have to tune in.
yeah, are you planning on streaming your team's match again this weekend?
Yeah, I think they're not playing this weekend. I think they're playing on Friday, like the next,
Next Friday.
not, next
Yeah.
Friday, but I will be streaming it with hopefully one of our other former club members who it'll be a good contrast. We have good banter, so I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Is it a surprise or
I don't know what his Twitch handle is
okay.
or what his Twitch name is, so it's a surprise.
All right, we'll find out next week on Friday. That's another benefit of the Collegiate Chess League. It offers a lot of flexibility for the teams and players. Captains can agree to reschedule their matches to literally any day or time before the end of the regular season. So default match time is on Saturdays, so we can avoid the weekday classes and club meetings and all of that. And that is what the broadcast officially is set to. So Saturday, it's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern. Um, and yeah, we're going to see. Hopefully, Mizzou's going to get their first win of the season. They lost last week to an upsetting lowest seed Virginia. That was like 9-7, which was
Oof.
incredible. But Mizzou, they definitely have a stronger roster than what they submitted last week. So we're going to see they registered Aryan Tari this year. So this might be his debut coming up this weekend. Do you follow any of the top players
In
in general?
like in the collegiate chess league or in general?
Just in general. Do you have a favorite?
Who do I follow? Who's my favorite? Um, like a favorite in what dimension? Like their
Any
favorite, like
for any
in any
reason?
event?
Who's on the top of your mind?
Okay, I mean I have to like Alexander Grishuk is
Okay.
like particularly comedic.
Oh yeah.
Um, so that is deserving of recognition. And who else?
In that similar,
Bobby just. Oh, sorry.
no,
No, I interrupted
no, no,
you.
no, no, no. You go. What you were just about to
No,
say.
I was just gonna say Fabi just seems like he has like an adorable vibe. And I'm big into vibes and he has an adorable vibe. So,
Love the Fabi
recognition there.
vibes. Yes,
Yeah.
vibing with Fabi. Yeah, I was gonna say in a similar vein of like Reshuk being like really funny. I think Ivanchuk, I think, is another
Hmm. Yeah.
really interesting character. He's great. No, that's what Blood Queen put in the chat. Um,
Yes. Agreed.
yeah. Have you heard of Blood Queen? Have you heard of her?
I have actually. I
Wow.
like hopped onto her stream the other day and just kind of sat and watched for a bit. It was good stuff.
Yeah, shout out to Blood Queen. We might have her on one of these days, maybe in a week or
Oh,
two.
amazing.
Yeah. Always love having new chess streamers joining the community, and I know Blood Queen's also collaborated with a lot of streamers recently. Tina, obviously, one of them, who's been on the show before, and there's another college age streamer, Luis, who's actually one of my coworkers at chess.com. Um, so that's the good thing about the community is always growing, and it's good to have new streamers and um, showing the game of chess to a new audience and trying to get more and more people involved and joining. And I was going to ask you if you're doing anything particular at the chess club to help grow it, and maybe like you have other extracurriculars at school that you're involved in.
Well, every time a girl comes to chess club, I get really excited because I'm big on like having women represented in chess. So, I try to be really engaging and interactive and like, kind of bring them in. Um, but what are we doing around campus? Hmm, nothing on the go right now. I I do want to dress everybody up in like giant chess costumes and have them play a giant game of like chess with people at the Loyola campus. I don't think that's actually going to happen because it's like herding sheep with the chess club and it would require too much coordination. Or herding cats, not sheep. Sheep you can herd, cats harder. Um, what else? I mean, the chess club does a really good job of marketing itself because we're such a presence. We like set up on the seventh floor, which is kind of the lunch area, and we take up like three tables. And the black and white and the yelling, because usually there's Bughouse being played. It just attracts a bit of a crowd, and people like kind of come over and check us out. And then as soon as one of the like execs will notice somebody staring, you're like, "Hey, do you want to play a game of chess?" And then suddenly we have a new member.
Nice. You're herding sheep
Yeah. Herding sheep, herding cats, herding some kind of animal.
or cats. Yeah. Do you have any cats?
Ooh, I had cats growing up
Okay.
yeah, so no longer, but I did have cats when I was younger.
Did they
They're
play
great.
chess?
They might have knocked a few chess pieces off the board,
That
but
counts.
I'll
Okay.
I'll take it. I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's great. You just kind of rope people. I mean, people get sucked in. They watch, and they're like, it's sometimes mesmerizing to watch chess, like definitely in person and online. Have you watched any chess events recently online?
Hmm. Have I watched any chess events recently? I probably have. Can't
Just
think of
too
anything
many.
off the top of my head.
There's a lot
Yeah.
that's been going on.
There's a lot of content. There's a lot of content, and you can kind of get lost in it. It's tricky though, because I stream. I work part time as
Yeah,
a massage therapist at a clinic near my house, and I go to school. And like it's so busy.
yeah.
But yeah.
It's a lot on the plate. You just got to choose what's worth your time. But chess is definitely one of those things. I think it's also kind of therapeutic. It's a good hobby, good for the mind, good for the
I
soul.
think it helps like structuring thoughts. Like since I started playing chess a year and a half ago, I've become more principled and careful about my decision making. And like it's not just limited to chess. It like totally can be applied in other aspects of life. Um, Go chess. So like that's been great.
Yeah, I mean, when you make a mistake on the board, you can't really take your move back, right? So you kind of have to live with your consequences. And it's
Yeah.
obviously a big parallel with all the decisions we make in our daily lives. And part of
Yeah.
it is also time management, right?
Yes. Yes. That is something I'm actively working on.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely a slower player myself. I lose a lot on time. I'm a thinker,
Me
so
too. Me too.
I can get
I can
carried
live with.
away.
Am I allowed to ask you questions?
Oh,
How are we doing for time?
for sure. We're like halfway through. We can end whenever, you know. But yeah, I mean, did you have questions for me?
Yeah, I want to know about your chess journey. How did it all start for
Oh,
you?
we're flipping the. You gotta start your own podcast and start having your own guests on your Twitch. You could start you.
That's why I have to work to get answers. What? Can't just turn the tables
Uh,
on you.
yeah, well, I mean, I'm on the podcast like every week, but it's always about the guests, and I remember when I invited you on, you were mentioning already like, oh, you gotta invite some of the other club members, like they're all such, entertaining characters.
Yeah.
I mean, to answer your question, I got into chess halfway through high school.
Okay.
I switched high schools, so I moved actually from St. Louis to California.
Okay.
And what's funny is people think that, oh, I'm from St. Louis, like that's why I play chess. I didn't know that the chess club in St. Louis had such a presence until after I left. And a lot of people in St. Louis don't actually know that they're like the chess capital of the world. So I just started playing chess just kind of randomly. It's been a game that I had learned as a kid and didn't really have that many opportunities playing. And I just was looking for things to do, and I just Googled how to play chess against people, and I found chess.com. And yeah,
Nice.
that was like 12 years ago now.
What's your most memorable chess experience or like most formative chess experience?
I would say um, my top chess experience was getting to teach Logic chess. If you know Logic the rapper, he was one of the PogChamps players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you got to teach him?
Yeah, I
What?
was his
That's so
coach.
crazy. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's definitely the most random fun fact about me. But like it goes to show, I had started streaming in 2019, and then chess really blew up in the pandemic with Queen's Gambit, and chess.com had started PogChamps. So the end of 2020 and the start of 2021 was really when I was working with Logic. He had reached out, he'd found me streaming on Twitch, and it just worked out. So streaming is a huge opportunity if people can, be at the right place at the right time, maybe get a little lucky. And I had just been at the right place in the right time, and he'd found me, and it worked out. So yeah, I like
Amazing.
that it opens doors, creates opportunities. I really hope that in especially the college community, we get more streamers to start. And there's a lot of college clubs out there that don't have any streamers or aren't really taking advantage. And it's kind of hard for college kids, right? Like they don't have the best setup. But there's a lot of campuses that have like esports facilities that they could use.
Yeah.
Um, and there's definitely been a lot more people interested in streaming lately. So that's always good. We just have to, get them over well, there's a couple hurdles. Um, but I think people are definitely motivated and inspired now. There's a lot more streamers out there like yourself. So, I mean, what are your goals for streaming exactly? Like you mentioned there was just a viewer that, makes it a positive interaction. Like, is that kind of the constant chase is like making that impact on people, or is there
Yeah.
anything beyond that?
Absolutely. It's building a community and just being there to motivate one another and work towards some kind of chess improvement. But also, honestly, like there are things that aren't chess related that make it so enjoyable. Like just the other day, I had a bunch of people come on to my podcast, and I don't even know how we got on this subject, but we all started talking about our dads that were in comp sci. Um, and we were all talking about how we love our dads so much and we have such a great relationship with our dad. And it was like four people in the chat plus me that were talking about how incredible our dads were and are. Um, and that like I mean I almost started crying on my stream, Joe. It was a little bit it was a lot, but I was so glad to be there for it, and it was so heartfelt, and I just like left that stream feeling on cloud nine. I was so happy. So I think that's like the biggest motivating factor is have meaningful interactions with people from all over the world. Um, and hopefully feel more connected, because I think the internet can be a really like a place full of isolation, and you can feel really socially alone in this day and age. But creating community, reaching out to people, making contact with others, um, and like getting something back, like it feels great. That's my biggest goal, is just continue to build a community and hopefully make a difference in a few people's day-to-day lives.
That's amazing. And shout out to all the chess dads out there.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, making those connections, like that's kind of what streaming is to me, but even more so, that's like what chess is. Chess is literally combining two people over the same board and just making that human connection. And um, it's just a game, but it's also a socializing tool to meet a community and be more involved. And I'm really glad that it can be so moving for you, like to connect with other people and to converse about, things that make you happy and reminisce. And that's awesome.
But like that's exactly it. Like it is a way to connect. I threw this house party at my apartment last year, and it was a chess party. And I thought, I was like, okay, I'm gonna invite, okay, my apartment can, maximum have like 50 people in it. And I was like, if I invite like 45 people, there's no way everybody's gonna show up. There's no way people are actually going to like bring plus ones. No, the people who I invited all showed up. There were extra people. Like my apartment was full. It was full. There was every single table was occupied, every single chair was in use. People were playing chess from like I guess 7 p.m. till like 2 in the morning. And it was the greatest time because you have a whole bunch of people who, their lives are by and large on their computer in their own home, and they don't go to like I mean, there's different people who end up going to chess club, but a lot of people at my chess club, like, they're not keen on going out dancing or going to a bar. Like, they have their activities they like at home, but you give them the opportunity for a chess party, and suddenly they all congregate and they're so happy to be there and to interact.
The chess club turns up.
Yeah,
They
the
show
chess club really turned up. It was a night to remember. I will never forget it.
party at Shoshana's. Let's go. You should make that
Yeah.
an annual chess party.
I am trying to organize this year's, so
Let's go. Is
hopefully.
it is there a special occasion?
Well, it's to celebrate breaking. Oh, okay. So, Joe, we have a running joke in our chess club, and you need to hear the lore, okay?
Okay,
Or else
okay.
I'm
Hit
just
me with it. I'm
telling
ready.
you things. So, the lore is that you don't have rights until you reach 1,000 online if you're an exec. And all the other execs are like well over 1,000, it's well
Okay,
over,
okay.
2,000. I'm the only exec that was under 1,000. And they kept on joking that I didn't have rights and I wasn't like, I wasn't fully considered a person at chess club
Oh
until
my
I broke
goodness.
that level. So it's a big deal. I have rights now. I'm a member. I can vote. Um, we're
Well,
gonna celebrate that.
congratulations. That's
Thank you.
that was a good motivation. Yeah, I love the running joke was really just kind of singling you out
Oh
from
yeah, it really was. It really was. Yeah, but I'm okay with that. It gave me the motivation necessary to get over that obstacle, if you will.
Yeah. Well, what's been your best way to improve? Like, how did you get there? Did you have a coach? Did you read any books? Were you watching videos, or is it mostly just playing?
A bunch of very pushy chess club members who are
Okay,
very
okay.
opinionated.
So they
That
helped
really
you.
helps. Yeah, there's kind of a foundation. And then I printed out some puzzles as well from, I think it's called the woodpecker method.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of puzzles in the book, and I just printed them out and I have them beside my bed. So before I go to sleep at night, I just like do some chess puzzles and then have vivid dreams about chess pieces moving around. Um,
Like Beth Harmon.
yeah, I mean, I felt pretty cool the first time it happened. I was like, wow, am I gonna see some major improvement? But just moderate, reasonable improvement. But enough to make me happy. And I think reviewing my games, going over them, um, I went over like I got a book with a friend, which was The Life and Games of Mikhail Tal, and we started reading it together and like going through each game and looking at different ideas, and so all of that helped and made a difference.
Yeah, it's a lot, and I think also just having that chess club community and a group of friends.
Oh, it's
Uh,
huge.
yeah, even if how they push you is a little questionable, it's still really
I'm
helpful.
okay with it. I'm really like I made my peace with it. I'm happy. I'm
Yeah,
happy
yeah.
about it.
Well, I'm glad you made your rights, so
Yeah,
you can
I
be in
have my rights now.
the 4-digit club for your rating.
Let's go.
Yes. They're gonna start raising the bar. Maybe it's gonna be like 1200 next.
I think so. I mean, I
Yeah.
had one of them pop on my stream the other day and tell me, how are you not 1100 yet? So we're working on
All
it,
right,
you know.
next. Yeah, every 100 elo is a
Yeah,
milestone.
exactly.
Yeah. I skipped a step going straight to 1200. I was trying to send the bar a little high,
Yeah,
but I think
slow and steady, slow and steady.
so. What is your Twitch username?
Shosh loves trails.
Yeah, and we'll put the link in the chat for everyone that wants to go follow her as well. We've got a couple follows this stream. Thanks, everyone. We're gonna do our podcast episodes every week. This is basically just um, right before the weekend. So next week we might also stick to Friday. In the past, we've done Thursdays, but we kind of vary depending on who the guest is. We try to make it work out for them. And I feel like you've been a great guest. Have you enjoyed the show? Have you watched any in the past? Do you know who
I
we should
did. I
invite
sent you
next?
guys. Ooh, ooh. Oh, that's a good question. I didn't really think about that, but I did watch some of the episodes before I came on to see what I was getting myself into. I watched it with my mom.
Oh,
Gives
very nice.
her a seal of approval.
Does she watch or play chess?
Oh goodness, no, no, no. She's not interested at all, but very supportive. So
That's amazing. Yeah.
yeah,
So your dad plays chess or no?
yeah. My dad plays chess.
Okay. Okay. So that's great. We got a follow from Wash Jiteskin. Do you know what that reference is?
Oh, I do know. I know.
Yeah.
I know exactly who that is. I know exactly who that is. This is one of the troublemakers from Chess Club.
Oh, okay, okay. A fan of yours.
Actually, yeah, the first time I went to the Concordia Chess Club, this specific individual, I think I turned up, started playing some chess, realized there weren't a lot of girls, and just offhand made the comment, I think this chess club needs more girls in it. And I think that individual specifically turned to me and said, "Girls, they don't know what girls are." So, we've changed that. We've changed that.
Okay. Okay, you're helping the movement.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's a great question. How do we get more girls to join chess clubs?
Make it accessible, make it a safe space. I think it is primarily male dominated and I can put a lot of people off. And the one thing I've noticed about women who start playing chess is they don't realize that there's a lot of people. So a lot of people who show up to chess club, who the men that come, they've played online, and they've played online, and then they come and play in person. But a lot of the girls who end up coming to chess club, they haven't played online at all. So you show up and you have two people who claim they're beginners, but there's this huge discrepancy where, the boys who are there have had huge amounts of experience playing online. They've played thousands of games. Yes, they consider themselves a beginner because of where their elo is at, or where their, what their rating is. But but they haven't done any in-person like chess meetups, and they have that experience. So I think probably just making it more accessible, making that known. If you're out in the world and there's a new girl that comes to your chess club and she's like, wow, how do I not know anything? And how does everybody else who claims to be a beginner here have so much strength compared to me? Just being like, hey, they've played 1,000 games of, Blitz online. Yeah, they say they're a beginner, but not so much.
I think people are humble sometimes when it comes to their rating or their strength. I think that's a good point. A lot of people um, can be intimidated by joining a chess club because they feel like they're not strong enough. But truthfully, there's a ton of players that are truly beginners that are
Yeah.
new, and just joining or starting chess for the first time, and just making the club welcoming, being friendly, and making it accessible, like you said, I think is a great piece of advice. So hopefully we get more and more um, players joining. And I wanted to ask you, is there a particular woman chess player that is inspiring to you?
I think Judith Polgar is incredible, just amazing. Pia Kramling, also incredible, inspiring. Um, and honestly, every single female chess streamer I'm inspired by, because I have so few people engaging with my stream, and it's challenging. It's challenging being, and I don't think I'm anywhere near as popular or engaging as some of the female streamers out there. And I realized that comparatively I've had a smaller amount of engagement, but there's still a lot of hurdles. There's a lot of challenging interpersonal obstacles that you come up against, and you're going to face things. You're going to have people say some unusual things to you that might make you feel uncomfortable. So combating that and finding a way to navigate it's a challenge, and it can be very scary. So I have an immense amount of respect for every other female streamer out there, because it can feel like a battle some days.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a lot harder online. People tend to have less of a filter. There's a bit of anonymity. What am I? Oh my God.
Anonymity.
It's like a synonymy. No, people are anonymous online, right? They can get away with saying things, or sometimes even putting copy pasta in the chat that's maybe blocked by a moderator or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think if you do have friends that you trust that are your moderators, it really helps. Um, Obviously, I think there's certain filters you can put in the chat, but for the most part, I totally get what you're saying. It's tough. Even for me, I'm getting comments sometimes that are just completely out of the blue. But I think once you get your community built up and you have some viewers that are consistent and regular, positive influence on the community, we had Cholato and in our chat show up just now. He's always been a positive member of the community. Um, so it's nice when you have these kind of people, because it kind of outweighs the every once in a while negative comment that you'll get, and it kind of makes it worth it. So I think also your own personality on stream helps dictate how people behave in the chat, and you just kind of have to um, set the tone, set the example of what's expected, what's not allowed, this sort of behavior. And that's kind of what a lot of streamers, especially when they're starting out, have to get used to.
Yeah, it definitely is an adjustment.
And Blood Queen mentioning Phoebe Vita is another chess.com streamer who recently just announced was the creator of the month for October. So shout out to Phoebe.
Ooh.
She's definitely a very nice personality. She's in the Netherlands. I mentioned Luis earlier. She just visited her, and Anna Rudolph, who's also one of the nicest chess streamers you'll meet. Um, and yeah, we might have to invite Phoebe on at some point. She's also a college student. She's studying art history. What are you studying in college?
Ooh, philosophy.
I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite philosopher? Do you have one?
Oh, I love Emile Chiron. He's like a French Romanian philosopher. Um, I have somewhere I have a book of his excerpts. It's around, but like he said some pretty wild things, but he talks extensively about failure,
Okay.
and I think that's
You
I think that's
resonate with
also
that?
present yeah, I really I mean, like that's part of the reason I love chess. Like you fail over and over again. It's inevitable. Like you need to fail. You're gonna learn more from your losses than your wins. And yeah, it really resonates with me. Lean into it.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to tell people like if they don't like losing, chess is not a good game for them because you're gonna have to lose. Even Magnus Carlsen loses. Not a lot, but it happens.
Yeah.
Um, and that could be a great motivator to improvement and getting through that struggle. I do think that there is a way that you can enjoy the losses, and you mentioned you learn more from losing, which I think definitely is a solid take. You can learn so much more from your mistakes, and you just kind of can channel that negative energy into positive energy and see like the greater outcome. Yeah, you lost the match, but you're now experienced and you've improved through it. So sometimes we have to make the same mistakes multiple times before we can really drill home the lesson. So being able to withstand that and channel it for your improvement, I think can make you a better player, a better person. And so that's cool. You're a philosophy major.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean like it is a common theme. And then like I try and weave that kind of philosophical like mind into especially the games I play online because it's so easy to get wrapped up in like a loss and then suddenly like you tilt and gone is the next 2 hours and gone is many rating points. And I recently started, sorry, I've been like talking about this all the time to all my chess club members and they think I'm cuckoo bananas for it, but I recently started a Tai Chi class and it's been amazing. Like it's helped so much with the emotional aspect of a loss. Like I went home the other day after Tai Chi class and I played like 3 games that were perfect and beautiful and they just went so well. And then I lost one and I set down my mouse. I didn't throw it against the wall and I closed my computer and I walked away and it was incredible.
Wow.
Next level stuff. Yeah.
How does one get to that level of enlightenment? How do you
I think the local community center with a Tai Chi class, apparently.
Wow, I gotta
It's
start
next
doing some
level.
Tai Chi. People, they really struggle ending on a loss, right? Because I feel like you might win 3 perfect games, but you get that one loss, and it's like it just. Some people will let that ruin everything. Like people like to say, "Oh, the pain of losing outweighs the joy of winning," right? Like I think that there's got to be some mental strength, and I feel like probably your experience with Tai Chi and like philosophy and that kind of stuff, I guess, really helps you, right?
Yeah. yeah, it makes a big difference with how I kind of interact with my like wins and losses.
And how you let your emotions affect you.
Yeah.
So, do you feel like you tilt a lot or no?
No, but you know what? I have to say, I am more predisposed to crying after a loss than like getting angry. I have so many friends who are like, I broke my table, I broke my mouse, I have a hole in my wall, after they had a few bad games. And I was like, cool, I just closed my computer and cried for the next half hour.
You let it out another way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You just cry
But
yourself to sleep. Oh, how I blundered
yeah,
my queen. Like
yeah, exactly.
my only queen. Yeah.
Oh,
The emotional attachment to the pieces.
oh,
Um,
it's real. The emotional attachment to the pieces is very real.
it's like losing a piece is like losing a child.
Yeah, exactly. You just want to take care of them. You want to make sure they make it to the
Like,
end.
how could I forget about you? I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I blundered a fork. Like it was like there was like a pawn and I moved my rooks. Like one rook was on, I don't know, I don't remember which file it was, but I moved my other rook into a fork. Like, like I did that to myself. It was mortifying. It was so
Ugh.
embarrassing.
And that pain is part of the learning process, right? You remembered it, and so
Mhm.
now next time you move a rook, you're gonna think twice about, okay, can I get forked? Is there a pawn in the vicinity?
Yeah.
And that's how you learn from
A
your
rogue
mistakes.
pawn. Yes,
I had a
indeed.
similar scarring experience during a tournament. I got checked by a knight, and I was like, oh man, I can't take the like I can't castle now. I'm gonna have to. And then I noticed my rook in the corner. It was like a classic like knight c2 fork, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm losing my rook. So I moved my king, and my opponent picks up their knight, and I think they're gonna take my rook, but then they take my queen. And I was like, oh
Oh,
my, I lost, I got royally forked. Like I didn't
oh,
even notice.
oh,
How can I play chess if I don't even realize I got my queen forked until the queen's already been taken off the board? And like since that game, I remember I'm like, okay, anytime a knight moves, I just have to know where it can go and then where it can go from there. Because if I can't recognize that, then I'm gonna keep getting forked every time.
yeah, absolutely. How long ago was that?
That was one of the first tournaments I played back in high school. That was like 2012. So yeah, like 12 years
Well,
ago, 2013 maybe. No, it was
sounds like
2012. I remember 2013 was the first time I played in a USCF tournament up in Berkeley.
mhm.
I was taking a summer class there. But this tournament was in high school. This wasn't even USCF rated. This was just a casual, like, high school versus high school competition. And I think there were like 50 players, and I was like one of the bottom five. And then I joined it the same tournament the following year, my senior year, and I got third place. So
Amazing.
that that loss was worth a lot of elo for me. That
Yeah.
was inspiring, and I remember I came back and I beat the same player that I had played, and he was like, "How'd you get so good in like less than a year?" And I'm like, "You beat me, and I had to come back stronger." I
You leveled up.
yeah yeah.
Nice.
So I don't think I necessarily have the same attachment to the pieces that you do, but I definitely process the losses and takeaways um, fairly seriously. I mean, nowadays I'm not so much focused on improving. I'm more so just playing to have fun. I feel like I've gone through my grind, but maybe I'll have another chapter of my chess career coming up. I just recently moved back to St. Louis, and we're next to the chess club, and there's a lot of events always happening, and yeah, it's good to be back. So who knows? We'll see.
Ooh, exciting stuff.
Yeah. And meanwhile, you're just starting your chess journey. I feel like you just
Yeah.
recently got over like 100 followers on Twitch. Are you affiliate yet or no?
Yeah, I was I actually just sent Twitch an email because I was doing the affiliate onboarding and I checked something yesterday and I was like, oh, I can't like enable certain things and it doesn't look like, it's been more than 48 hours. I
Okay,
need to
okay.
kind of contact them. So that's in the process of happening.
Well, we're all gonna be very much looking forward to your next stream. We're all gonna be tuning in and witnessing your chess career uh, start to blossom. So it's been absolutely an honor to have you on. You've been fantastic, getting to
God.
learn more about you, and hopefully your chess club members that tuned in enjoyed it as well.
It's been a
They can never
joy.
get enough of you, I'm sure.
I can never get enough of them.
Yeah, we might have to invite. Yeah, you might have to start the Concordia chess podcast. That would be
I think that might be a great idea.
every week
I
at chess club meeting, maybe.
I was thinking about streaming my chess club actually once I like consent everyone and everyone like is okay with it. I think it would be an entertaining time.
Yeah, and you could do like IRL streams. Yeah, stream the meetings at the park. There's a lot. There's a whole world out there, and I feel like you can definitely achieve whatever it is you set your mind to. I feel like you've got a great personality. People are gonna want to support you, and it's yeah been an honor getting to know you a little bit more. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and we're looking forward to your streams and your team's matches coming up.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on. This has been a fun way to spend an afternoon.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you so much. And for everyone out there, appreciate you tuning in. This has been the second episode of season four's College Chess Podcast, brought to you by our sponsor, Susquehanna. Shout out to them. And if you guys are interested in checking out more about Susquehanna, you can put Susquehanna command in the chat to find out where you could submit a resume. It's a great place to work. And we're going to be showing off tomorrow's broadcast on the main chess channel on Twitch and YouTube. So definitely be sure to check that out. It's going to be Athens versus Missouri, followed by Virginia versus Yale. You won't want to miss it. Mizzou's going to come back strong with a presumably better lineup than they did against Virginia. And Virginia is going to look to see if they can continue being hot. I think Yale lost their first week and are looking for their first win, so that's going to be a big matchup as well. So lots of chess coming up this weekend. Shout out to the college chess community. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you once again, Shoshana, and we'll see you all later. Take care.
Bye.